you're talking to a guy that claims to be interested in dating you and you say something like, oh, I'm going to get my nails done or my hair, I'm going to the mall, and he does not offer to send you money to contribute to that, you need to block him, and you need to block him quickly, okay? We don't have time to be talking to men that cannot contribute to our lives, even in the smallest of ways. Not in this economy.
Who is we? That's what I'm trying to understand. Yo, black women a lot of times they talk like they speaking from a position of power. It's a perception of choice. You know what I'm saying? Like they're speaking like it's not 1,000 filters on this whole thing. Like it's not eye filters, skin filters, the old movie filter thing. I don't even know what this is being recorded on, but thank you guys for sending me this because I'd love to speak to it. Um, I don't know where this sense of entitlement is coming from. It speaks to the idea that the only value that a lot of these women believe that you bring to their lives is financial. Now I understand that relationships are transactional, meaning that even if you're not in a sexual relationship or some kind of emotional relationship or love or marriage or whatever, then even if you talking to people, friendships, you don't want to be around people that only drain you. So if that is the case, then here's my question. Because I never, ever, ever hear a woman speak to what value she returns to the man that then transactionally sends whatever it is because they act look, these women are more demanding than a wife. And that's crazy, right? Because you don't get any benefits from her as far as what a wife is supposed to do: great mother, nurturing, work for you, submissive, peaceful, covers the bases that you're not covered, all of the different things that come along with being in a successful relationship, right? And I'm not going to speak to that. You don't get any of that. The only thing you get, which I think that this is a lie, but let's just assume that, that this is true. The only thing that you're getting from these women is some sort of availability and possibly box. Isn't the price of box down? Isn't inflation up? The value of box is going down significantly. It's so much box. Listen, it's so much box that it's not even like a scarcity. It's not even a thing where dudes is a lot of guys that I know, they're not willing to like sacrifice or crash out or even spend no money because they already know that there's another chick that's giving it up for free or just for the clout. And so why would a guy be spending a lot of time? And when I say a lot of time, you got to remember that you got to trade in your time for money. So you actually, when you paying her, you got to calculate that. This is the equation that I want guys to listen to when they breaking down the value that a woman adds into their life versus how much that they spending on these chicks, right? So just forget the idea of cash apping her and selling her and sending her all of this money because you're just straight up a chick. You're a trick, bro. Like you're absolutely a trick in the worst way ever, right? But let's assume and let's remove that from the conversation. Let's say you see a woman that you think is valuable. And I know it's this whole simp movement that's going on out here where it's a lot of guys that's basically saying, oh man, I pay for everything, 100%, 100. She don't have to do nothing but just sit there. And I seen a video that somebody showed me the other day where the guy was meeting her at the driveway. Man, I'm not even going to get into that. Look, listen. Think about it like this, and it's a simple life equation, and I know some of y'all going to miss it, but I'm going to revisit it just to make sure that you understand it from a C student's perspective. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Every day that you're alive, there's a value associated with every second, every minute, every hour, every day that you're alive, right? And you can lightly evaluate what that hour is worth. Let's just bring it down to an hour by saying, okay, well, this is how much I make per year. And then you divide that from all income sources, not just from your regular job. If you only got a regular job, then that's the only income source that you can do, right? But all income sources minus expenses, what you wind up paying yourself or the value that you continue to extrapolate out of society, you take that number, right? So if I take the number, let's just say, for example, I want to take this number and I say, you make $100,000 a year. And I want to tell you, and the reason that I'm breaking this down is because I want y'all to stop giving money to women. Stop giving money to women. Let's say you make $100,000 a year, right? And then you divide it by 365. It's $273 a day and 97 cents. All right? $273 a day and 97 cents. Now, we're not even going to add in no complications as far as taxes, Social Security, living expenses. We're just going to say this is how much you generate a day if you make $100,000 a year. And then you want to divide that by 24 hours, right? Because it's 24 hours in a day. And so your time is worth $11.41 an hour. Now, some people are going to say, well, no, because I make this amount of money per hour. I'm not talking about how you generate the income and how much time it takes you to do so. I'm talking about your overall value. And if you make $100,000 a year, then that means that your time, every minute that you awoke, every minute that you sleep, it breaks down to $11.41 an hour, right? So let's say, for example, you got these women that say, well, listen, I want you to take me on to a steakhouse, and we're going to wind up blowing $400. $400, right? Well, let's just say $440 just to make it a little bit easier, right? So if you take $440 and you divide it by 11.41, I know a lot of y'all said that math wasn't going to be your strong suit. Math wasn't going to be your strong suit, okay? $440 divided by $11.41, not how much you make per hour, because then you spending a limited amount of time in that, and then you got to live the rest of your life, you got to sleep or whatever. All of that contributes into what you're doing on a daily basis. You have to sleep so that you can work, right? That basically is a combined amount. Just because you're not at work during that particular time does not mean you don't have to recalculate and regenerate and replenish yourself so that you're available to go and make more money so that you can survive. You got to eat, all of this stuff. So everything contributes to a number. It's going to take you 38 hours of living. You have a finite amount of time on this earth. It's going to take you 38 and a half hours to actually, so you're taking 38 and a half hours off of your life to go and treat her for what? That's the thing that you really need to understand. I'm going to do a whole separate video and break this stuff down. You are contributing that amount of money to make her happy for the possibility. 38 hours of your life is gone, taking her out to a steakhouse. Ain't that crazy? That's not crazy to you? You still willing to give money? You still operating under a duress mindset, so much so to where you're willing to let these women program each other and then finesse you out of a bag? Listen, I don't care how much money you make. I don't care if you make $1 million a year. I don't care if you make $2 million a year. The higher you go, the less it's worth it to spend time on them, because it's not just trading in your time in order to make sure that you take care of them or to give money over into people that's not adding value into your life. When you start getting to a higher level, then you got to break it down from the perspective of, well, wait a minute. If I'm spending time with you, then that means that I'm losing money. Because if the value of my time is X, and then I have to extract that in order to spend time with you, then that means that you're diminishing my value because you're not adding anything into this thing. And so any woman that is requiring you to send her money just because she's her, you need to divest yourself from it. I hope y'all paying attention to your unk. And I am going to give you the game and help you to understand how you vet these women and actually to be in a real relationship with somebody that's adding value into your life. Otherwise, you got to cut it off. Cut it off at the source. I'm curious as to what y'all think in the comments. I know a lot of y'all ain't paying attention to the math aspect of it, but you need to, because that's the most important part. The context is what's going to actually give you the understanding as to why you shouldn't be doing this stuff in the first place. Because if you get understanding, then you'll probably make a different decision. I'm curious as to what y'all think. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. The link is in the description. We running it up. We got Stock Club popping, and everything is going to be great. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Stay focused, friends.